This is my song.
I know, it's so
We are
exciting.
live.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jazzed. Oh my goodness, this is so great. Get the party started. Hello, Heather.
We are
Woohoo!
live. We are live.
So fun. Hopefully you can hear it. Let us know. I can DJ it up louder or not. Hello, Miss Sack. Yay! We are so excited you're here, Jane. Hello, Paulina. Woohoo!
What's up? What's up? What's up, people? What's up, Ecuador? I see Ecuador is in the house.
Oh my
Shout
goodness.
out where you're from. Go ahead and let us know where you're at in the world. Las Vegas in the house. What's going on, Las Vegas?
Oh my gosh. Welcome, welcome to the opening ceremony. We're so excited that you're here with us. Hello from North Carolina. We've got Seattle in the house, Panama in the house, Georgia in the house.
North Carolina, Seattle, North Texas. What's up, North Texas? What's up, South Carolina? That's my stomping grounds right there. Love South Carolina.
Oh my gosh, Mississippi.
Oh man, y'all are blowing up this chat. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. Do you know what I love about this? Is that they already know the routine. Like, we don't even have to tell them where they're from. They're coming in and they're like, I'm ready. Guess where I'm at? I love that. It's so good.
You all know what time it is. It's Camp Engage. It's time to engage.
Amazing. We've got Australia here. Wow. Hello, Ingrid from Australia. We have Spain. Hello, Oklahoma, Houston, H-Town, Arizona, Nancy. I love it. We got lots of
Ohio, the Philippines, Maryland.
Amazing. Illinois, Louisiana, Buffalo. Hello.
If you can, we have the code sitting right there at the bottom.
Woo!
GTK.
Yep.
54 GTK 54. Join that Nearpod lesson because we have a lot to go over today and it's going to be amazing. We have some treats in store for everyone. So make sure you get into that Nearpod. It's right there on the screen.
Absolutely.
Hope I'm pointing in the right direction.
GTK
right here.
54. It's not case sensitive, so you don't have to caps it. Just GTK 54. Please join. We've got a lot of good stuff for you. We want to make sure that you're engaged, that you are interacting with us, not only via the chat, but also via the Nearpod lesson. We are so excited for you all. We've got a special guest too, so you're not going to want to miss out. Thank you so much for joining us at Camp Engage again, y'all. That was awesome. It's too good. Warm San Antonio. Listen, Jennifer, I hope it is warm over there because 2 weeks ago it was 29 degrees in San Antonio. I hope you're warm. All righty, go ahead and let us know where you're logging in from if you haven't already. We are so excited to see where you guys are from. And on top of that, while you're at it, when you go ahead and join our lesson code GTK54, please know that there is a poll there. We want to make sure that we know if this is your first Camp Engage or if you are a total Camp Engage regular. It's my dream to be a regular somewhere, specifically at Starbucks, probably for coffee. But being a Camp Engage regular is also the coolest thing ever. So make sure you let us know if you are brand spanking new to Camp Engage in general, and or if you have come to a Camp Engage previously and have joined our camp counselors, Nick, Knight, and myself, or our other camp counselors, Merv and Ike, in the past.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, if like Marcella just mentioned, if you can join the Nearpod, the lesson code is right here at the bottom, GTK54. We have a poll for you, and we just want to know, is this your first time at Camp Engage, or is this, are you a veteran? You a Camp Engage veteran? You're a veteran camper. Are you a veteran? So let us know in the poll. We see a lot of responses rolling in already, so keep them coming, y'all. And this is exciting. I'm excited to get things rolling today.
Absolutely. I know that we've got some people asking about the code one more time. It is down below. Make sure you hop on in there, GTK54, and answer that poll. We've got so much in store for you guys this entire weekend, so we cannot wait to get started. Thank you so much for joining us. We're seeing so many people in here. We're so excited to be with you. Yay, David, it's your second visit. We are so happy you came back to us. First time, absolutely awesome. Awesome, Anna. This is so exciting. Look at all of our responses. We're going to wait a little bit longer. Just
and it looks like there's a little bit of half and half going on here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting to see too.
Absolutely. You know, a quick plug, if we've got some brand new Nearpodders, the beauty of Nearpod is we get to actually watch you guys in real time. We get to see you guys filling out this poll and seeing that percentage go up, 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 up. And so then we know our wait time. Nick and I are just chillaxing back here, waiting to see when we get to move forward once everyone, hopefully everyone, at least 90% of you have answered that poll for us today. Hello.
I even see that the mouse is hovering over this share button, that if that share button was pressed, that we could share this data out with all of the participants that are in the session. So think about what type of impact, wink, wink, that could make with the students that you have in your classroom to make that data visible. So we're just going to give you a few more seconds to fill out this poll, and then we're going to move forward. But you all are doing awesome right now. And I see a lot of people in the chat just still shouting out where they're from. So I'm noticing that we have some veterans here. That's exciting.
Absolutely. And we've got some new timers. This is so exciting. Like 52% is what's showing on my screen, but I know that you guys are still racking up that percentage of engagement here when it comes to answering that poll question. But man, oh man, we are so excited that you guys are here. If you are brand new to Camp Engage, I really wish that you could understand, like, you don't know what you're about to embark on, but we are here embracing you into this Nearpod family. We are so excited you're here, and you're never going to leave. Unfortunately, you're not. It's going to be awesome. So we're so excited that you're here to experience this awesome Camp Engage with us today.
Yes, so let's hop straight into this, man. We're definitely going to just introduce ourselves. These are just 2 out of the 4 camp counselors that we have on staff, on our camp counselor staff here over with Nearpod. I'm going to just go ahead and kick it off and introduce myself. Some of you might know me as Nicholas Knight. Some might know me as Nick Knight. Some might know me as Little Man, and some might know me as Nick at Night. Whichever one you would like to call me, I'm perfectly fine with it. Whichever one's going to help you remember my name. I'm located in Memphis, Tennessee, an educator for about 4 years now, and I'm currently serving as a district implementation success manager with school districts around the Midwest. And I'm also a camp counselor here. So I'm going to pass the mic on over to Marcella. But before I do that, I almost forgot. I have a fun fact to share. So my fun fact to share is that I love Disney movies. And if you love Disney movies, do me a favor and shout out your favorite Disney movie in the chat, because I would love to hear and I would love to agree with you. So definitely do that. Yes.
I will slide right in there after your fun fact, because my favorite Disney movie of all time is, actually, I don't know, it's tied between, this is going to be a hot take, The Fox and the Hound. I know, taking it all the way back, or Mulan. Either or, I love them both. So let us know, what is your awesome Gustavo? Hi, Gus. It's so excited to see you.
Wow.
Yay.
Oh, I see Peter Pan, Little Mermaid, Finding Nemo.
Oh my God.
We got some Pixar fans.
Moana,
Awesome. Oh yeah. Beautiful taste. I see it. I'm seeing taste. There's taste here. Goofy movie. Absolutely. Yes.
These are all the newer ones. Wow, I'm like really aging myself. I said Fox and the Hound.
Fox and the Hound, man. I cry every single time that movie comes
I cry too. It's just so cute and sad and terrible and wonderful at the same time. So with that being said, okay, wow, my name is Marcella Labrador. I get the honor of hanging out with Nick Knight every single day as a camp counselor here. And I am so excited that I got welcomed back to our camp Engage. I was about to leak a secret. So I had to, I had to zip that up there. We're going to get it in a couple slides. But with that being said, I am actually from Omaha, Nebraska, but I do reside in Arizona. I saw my Arizona people in the house. Whoop, whoop, go Arizona. And then of course I was a former educator. I made the transition from in the classroom to ed tech because I just wanted to make a bigger difference. I wanted to make sure that I was able to get these wonderful resources to you educators so that your students had the opportunity to engage with really equitable resources in the classroom and of course level that playing field for everyone to get a quality education. And so it obviously landed me here at Nearpod, because what's better than Nearpod? Nothing. With that being said, I'm a bit biased though. But with that being said, I'm super excited. I also am a Nearpod brand ambassador. So you have seen me around. That's how I know Gus in the chat over there. So if you go to conferences or if you've seen me at your schools, I am super excited that I get to be here with you guys. So we appreciate you so very much. And I guess my fun fact would be, I've been really into, this is wild. I just got my very first sound bath. If you've ever heard of sound bowl like healing, I've never heard of it before. I didn't really know what it was all about, but this weekend my friend had a birthday party and she invited like the sound bath yoga instructor, and it was really cool. Who knew that sound in the waves of the sound got to heal DNA? I mean, I don't know. Science, it's crazy. It's wild. But with that being said, that is my new thing that I'm into these days. So I'm really going to do some research on it. So go ahead and let us know some fun facts about you guys and also your favorite Disney movie, because we want to hear it. All right.
Man, oh yeah, the sound bath thing. I definitely have to try that before. Right? It's got to be put on my bucket list. I'm going to try it by the end of the year. I've seen a lot of videos about it, but I definitely want to try it.
Me too.
And it's, people are saying it's calming. Yeah. Definitely something to consider regarding this self-care thing and making sure that you're able to regulate your own mind, body, spirit, all of those things. Yes, absolutely. Speaking of that type of, impact that we can have on our mind, bodies, and spirit, let's talk about the meaning of impact and sort of the theme that we want to stick with and ground ourselves in, dare I say, bathe ourselves in. For Camp Engage. This is impact, y'all. We're thinking about, sort of what that means. And for us, we've sort of framed it that impact is, in our acronym, inspiring, meaningful, powerful, actionable, change together. I love every last one of those words because it just outlines what it is that's going to bring those transformational experiences to our students, and not just our students, but as well as our fellow coworkers, our teachers, our administrators, everyone, our stakeholders, our parents, community members, everyone that is involved in this work of transforming life outcomes and impacting students. Each one of these words actually speak to that. So we wrote that out for ourselves. Marcella, did you want to chime in?
Absolutely. Honestly, I want to chime in the aspect of I want to put it back to our awesome campers that are in the chat. And I would love to know, what does impact mean to you? I see, Alex, your boss recommended you were here. You are an online teacher. This is so amazing. The impact that you're making, even virtually and specifically after the pandemic, is so crucial. And so we are so excited. We want you guys to go ahead. If you're brand new and you haven't joined yet, our lesson code at Nearpod is GTK54. And go ahead and let us know, what does impact mean to you? I want you to spell it out, draw it out, whatever you feel. We want to hear from you guys. And of course, we will share out some of the great things that we are seeing.
Yep. So while we're doing that, we're going to play just a little bit of music. Go ahead and take it away. We got some Motown sounds for you.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, we're
going to do another sound bath and give it about a minute and 30 seconds for you all to just put your responses. You can draw, you can type it, you can put in a picture. What does impact to you?
I love that. So go ahead. We do have some Motown for you as you're working on what impact means to you, specifically in your day-to-day role as you impact your students, or maybe they even impact you, right? So with that being said, we can't wait to see what you've got. Of course, at Nearpod, our specific impact acronym was, of course, inspiring, meaningful, powerful, actionable, change together, which is what we're doing here. We're changing together and we are impacting people, even each other, as we get to connect in this awesome ecosystem of Camp Engage online this entire weekend. as you are working, I also want to give a shout out to someone who said that they just got their first massage. Self-care, hashtag self-care. Shout out to you. Way to just make sure that you are honoring yourself and all the hard work that you do for our students and our communities, and I'm sure your families and your friends. I mean, we're all obviously always going, trying our very best to be there for everyone else. And it's important to take a moment and just show up for yourself. So for all the people giving the sound bath love, yes, if you've never heard of it, Google it. And also thank you for prioritizing yourself and getting your first massage.
Yeah, absolutely. So 1 minute and 30 seconds have passed. I'm curious to see what some of these responses look like, and I'm seeing some amazing ones as we're scrolling through, looking at these, and I kind of want to look at just one of them, and highlight a few of them as we're doing it. So I see one. Oh wow, look at this! It's a light bulb. It's a person that's just gotten a bright idea, and now it's translated into making history. Love it, absolutely.
That is amazing.
Innovative, motivating, powerful. Yes. These are some strong words that we're thinking about in regard to what it means to us to have impact. Student connections. Absolutely. Student connections. Yes. Impact, y'all. Impact. So we're thinking about this as we are going through our Camp Engage experience this weekend. And speaking of history, speaking of powerful, speaking of innovative, speaking of student connections, and not just student connections, but like, people to people connections, right? Talk about Camp Engage's impact over the past few years. That, y'all, could you believe it? We are in our 15th Camp Engage. I need some heart. I need some hands in the chat. I need some noise. Make some noise about that.
I wish I had the womp womp here.
Amazing. It is absolutely amazing to see what Camp Engage has been able to accomplish over the course of 15 of these, as well as, what we've been able to gather and translate to the spaces that we find ourselves in. It's just amazing to see the amount of impact, and all of this would not have been possible without the support of the campers, right? Like, and I'm speaking also as a former camper turned camp counselor, that, all of us together in our collaboration, in our networking, in our relationship building, in our learning, and our desire to transform education into what it can become is what is fueling all of this, and is what is causing that impact, man. So yes, making noise in the chat, and I love it, I love it. But yes, y'all, as Dr. Mervin Jenkins will say, we are in our 15 Camp Engage, and we're looking forward to 15 more, y'all, and we're looking forward to 15 more after that, because this work doesn't stop until dot. Oh man, I think I just rapped.
I think that Dr. Mervin Jenkins would be so proud of you right now. I think that was honestly something that you came up with without the Lyric Lab rhyme generator. I mean, come on.
And that's a first. That's a first for me. So, man,
I always rely on my only rap that I can come up with, which is always, I'm going to pass the mic to Ike. And that's it. I'm just so bad at it. But that was amazing. And you know what? I love what you were talking about with when it comes to the transformation that we're making and the impact we're making, the ones that we have already in the last 15 Camp Engages in the last 4 years. I mean, you guys, 4 years of Camp Engage. That's amazing. It's so remarkable. And we couldn't have done it without, obviously, our mayor. So shout out to Mayor Lindsay, but also to you guys for showing up and providing us with all of the wonderful ideas that you're craving, that you want to learn and grow and need more expertise in, but also just sharing your knowledge as well with us. And so we are so excited that we're able to do this. We get to show up every single day. And that, as Nick mentioned, we're going to just continue it on for 15 more and then 15 after that. And it's just never ending. So you are part of this family here at Nearpod, and we can't wait to continue on when it comes to Camp Engage and continuous learning and transformational work.
And as we're talking about this, one of the quotes that come to mind for me is one that I allow to guide my daily work, is that, we didn't come this far to only come this far. So, when we're talking about impact, y'all, it doesn't stop. We're going to keep on going until ... We just won't stop, So I think that, this is an amazing thing, that this is an amazing event that we've been able to cultivate over the course of 4 years, and that, as long as we are continuing to be committed, we're going to keep expanding our impact. And speaking of, those that have been able to expand their impact through using Nearpod and using Flocabulary, and also attending Camp Engage and being just a committed learner, committed teacher, and committed to the impact of the students. We have someone that we would love to introduce you to today. So I'm going to pass it off right back to Marcella to introduce our keynote speaker for today.
Oh my gosh, I am honored. First of all, Nick and I got a sneak preview of everything that makes up Nancy, and she's just remarkable. And so we are honored that she's able to share her story with you guys here today. This is Nancy Penchev, and by all means, I can't do her justice, so she will introduce herself. But we're about to really get a deep dive on Nancy's career, her experience, and the impact that she's made in education as well.
Well, thank you. And I think that I'm only here because of the impact my teachers had on me. I remember my preschool teachers. I remember meeting one of my best friends growing up when I was 2 years old in my class, in my daycare class. I remember where I was sitting when she walked in the door. I remember all of those teachers. My first grade teacher was Miss Touch. She's now Miss O'Shields, and she taught my nephew when he was in third grade. And I got to go back and teach in the room beside her. And it was just phenomenal. So I have, amazing teachers. Coach Summy, who told me, yes, you are. Yes, you are going to college. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. When I thought, and because I was a first generation college student. So, without the impact of my teachers, I would still be in South Carolina. Nick, I would still be in South Carolina. And there would be nothing wrong with that, working at the factory right beside my mom, right beside my sister. It would be a wonderful life for me. But thankfully, people had a huge impact on me and pushed me when I wasn't ready to be pushed. I've been a teacher now for 25 years. It always scares me when I do that math, and I'm like, no. But yeah, it's 25 years now. And I won awards, sometimes just because I was the only person who applied, and I'm happy to take that award. I've gotten lots of grants, about $25,000 worth of grants in the last 7 years, just because, again, I said, I wonder if they'll give us money to do this. And so I filled out a piece of paper and people sent me money. So, I'm always trying to step out and try new things. I call it spaghetti. You throw it against the wall and you see what sticks. And it might work. The conference presentation I turn in might work for one group, and I'll turn in the same one and the next group says no. So you have to, figure out what's going to work with everyone. I do a lot of ambassador things. I'm a Lego ambassador, because my students love Lego. So I was like, well, hey, how can I learn more about how to use it? So I started looking at all the Lego stuff. And then they said, apply to be an ambassador. I was like, okay. So we started doing that. I'm an inductee this year as a NASA space ambassador because, again, my students were excited about space. So I applied and they said yes. And so I'm in my induction year of that. My fun fact is I'm a bootlegger. So that means my dad's brothers were bootleggers, but that had a totally different meaning in South Carolina than what it means now. So I'm a huge Luke Combs fan. He's a country music singer.
Love Luke Combs.
Yeah, I know, right? He's from Asheville, North Carolina. And my nephew would send me videos of Luke singing at little bars around North Carolina. He would go and see him. He was like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. And now he's like this huge deal. And I feel like he's one of my nephews. And I went to his concert and I was crying. My husband's like, you're an idiot. I'm like, I can't help it. So that's my fun fact.
We're going to make sure that you get to meet Luke Combs. We're going to figure it out somehow. I'm going to figure it out for you because
I have spent enough money. I've been to one concert, but I bought tickets now for probably 10 for my nephews to go and my cousins to go because he's everywhere they are. So yeah, whatever. And I'm a part of the PBS SoCal STEM curriculum writing. I've done that for them. I did some webinars for them during COVID. And I'm a founder of Girls Building STEAM, which is my passion project. And I get together with girls every Thursday, not today. We canceled today. They were very upset with me, but they were like, hey, you need to go talk to people about this. So, okay, I'm here. And this year they wanted to cook. The kids lead it. I'm just there to buy the stuff and to be the adult in the room and take pictures. And so we're cooking and we're trying to make healthy foods. We have a chief health officer and she checks our food and she's like, it's okay if it's not that healthy because we need balance.
Yes.
So I really appreciate that from her.
Absolutely.
And then I have my my website's there. I have nancypinchev.com, and there you're going to see lots of presentations that I've done. Anything you see there that you want to use, like how-to guides, take it. That's what it's there for. I have a thoughtfulteachertech.org is my newest website that I created that goes along with my project that I'm going to talk about today with Vietnam. And then every month, I collect cool things I see on the internet and emails that I've gotten, and I put it into a Google Doc, and then every month I publish it. And it's really for me, so I don't lose it. But since I was doing it, I might as well share it with the world. So there's a blog that comes out every first or second of the month, if I remember to post it. So that's there for people to look at. But the main reason I'm going to talk to you today is my experience in Vietnam. The last Camp Engage, I presented about vocabulary, and I presented from my very hot hotel room in Hanoi, Vietnam. I was so privileged and honored to be a part of Fulbright this year. I'm a Fulbright Distinguished Award in Teaching, and all that means is that I applied and asked to go. So Fulbright has lots of different programs, and some of them are for teachers, some are from students, some are for researchers. There's lots of different programs. But the Distinguished Teacher Award in research, they take teachers and send them for 3 to 6 months to a foreign country. And you look at the countries that are available for each year, and they will tell you what they're looking for. If they're looking for administrators, if they're looking for teachers that teach STEM, if they're looking for math teachers, math is a big one. Computer science is another big one that a lot of people are looking for. I went for technology. And so this is some pictures of me in Vietnam, and I was able to connect there with the U.S. Embassy as part of Fulbright. So I was able to go to the embassy and talk at the American Center and meet teachers and student teachers and industry people from the STEM fields who are creating these amazing programs. And I was able to talk to them about how we use STEM at my school and literacy and STEM together, and how things are going in America, what we are trying to do, and then able to talk to them about what they're doing. So it was amazing. And every moment I spent in Hanoi is like pinching myself going, is this really happening? Is this real? This cannot be real right now. But it was really happening, and I was shocked. I also was able to teach in a couple of classes. I taught some STEM classes. So the top picture is some 5th grade students. The bottom picture is me using vocabulary, the water cycle video, and it blew their minds because they've never seen vocabulary. At my school is Skyline Schools. They use Nearpod there. So I was very excited to talk to them about how they use Nearpod. So I taught a lesson one day about the water cycle, and the next day we did a STEM experiment where I live in Miami. They live in Da Nang is where my host school is. And we had floods all over the place in Da Nang, just like I have here in Miami. So we were working on trying to build like a flood wall or a levee or something to keep the flood waters away. So I showed them pictures of the flood in Miami that had happened the week before and the flood that had happened in Da Nang the week before. I'm like, look, let's see what we can do. So we tried to build with lots of different equipment and try to build something. And they actually did managed to build. I had to go the night before to the beach and dig up sand to put it in 2 Ziploc bags. My husband carried on back to our apartment for me. And then I took them to school, and we built levees and flood walls to try to solve a problem. That's a big problem for them. And it's also a big problem where I live. So we tried to keep connecting. That was a big point, is connecting and continuing those connections. So last week before last, I got a text from one of the teachers that I had met. She's like, hey, so I need to teach something about chemistry and air pollution. What do you have? And I said, I don't know. Hold on. So we started going through some of the things that I've seen people do, because she was teaching in a high school. I teach elementary. My school goes all the way through 12th grade. So I was, well, here's what I've seen before, and here's what I've done before. And then we just started brainstorming more and more, because my students while I was in Vietnam, my students at home were doing a PSA project on water and the problems with water in our world. So I said, maybe you could do that and bring attention to problems with the air. So, just opening it up and making those connections that we're going to continue learning together. Even though I'm here now and they're still in Vietnam, we're still connecting and we're still growing together.
I love that. Nick, I feel like we have, again, I'm cheating because I've heard Nancy's story, but I feel like we have some questions we'd love to ask you, if that's okay.
Sure.
And then one other thing is that Well, I'll just let Nick go first, and then I'll ask my questions. Go for it, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. I just love like what you have like talked about regarding like just this importance around connection and you know your experience with vocabulary with Vietnam students and also the Skyline schools using Nearpod. That's just it's a beautiful thing to hear and like to hear from like someone just that has like that direct impact with students, right? I think the question I sort of ask is like what if you could just name one moment outside of like the ones that you've named, just one moment that you feel like students just had a huge impact, or maybe how students have impacted you. What is one moment that you feel like you could tell?
Sure. So, oh gosh, to pick one, right? So, I can tell you, my girls building STEAM. So I started this program. I was at ISTE in Atlanta, and I saw a Verizon commercial of girls in STEM, and the parents kept pushing their child away from all the STEM stuff. And then it talks about how girls need more STEM in their lives. And I'm like, oh gosh. So that's when I started the program. And my girls that were my original girls, I had 4 core girls that stayed with it for their whole elementary career. They're in 11th grade now, and they come back and teach. And they're like, I told them I was going to be here today. They're like, well, we want to go do another conference. Because when they were in 5th grade, they went to a conference with me and presented about how much STEM is important and how it impacted their lives. And they wrote a grant and got like $15,000 with me to get our fashion program. We were doing fashion because they loved fashion. So we brought attention to problems in the world using fashion. And that was all led by them because I don't sew. I don't do any of that, but they do. They had taken classes, so they knew. So Ava and Jessica are still with me, and they come back and teach. Zoe has other classes that she can't come, and Ellie had to leave our school. There was my main 4. And then Liat is now a senior, and she has been teaching with me after school classes, robotics, and everything. And Malvina was my first student who presented with me at ISTE, my very first presentation at ISTE. So having those girls now are grown up and they're back and teaching and they love it and they get so excited. And they even said to me, we want to present more. And I said, I will find out and I will look for more places to present. And they're like, it's impacted my life. It runs my life now. Everything revolves around this. So I'm like, okay, we'll do that. So those girls being so excited and putting forth, they could be going home, they could be doing anything else. And instead they volunteer their time to come in and cut up fruit and to clean up after the little kids and teach little kids and help me. And that just, it makes my life so much happier.
I love that, Nancy. Thank you. I feel like you have just so much going on from your intro page. I'm just so excited. I'm like, wow, I love this STEM Girls Who STEM organization that you've got going on. And I love that you have a chief health officer. I'm like, sign me up. Like, where's the balance? Is it not the ice cream and froyo I eat every day? But what I really loved to hear about is your experience in Vietnam and just, again, you undermined the Fulbright. You just said, I just applied and I got it. But let's be real. We know Fulbright is very competitive, very difficult. And so
yes,
so exciting. And I know you won't toot your own horn, but I will toot it for you. So I am just like, it's remarkable. And so with that experience, I would love to know, how did that experience change or evolve the way that you're engaging with your students here back home in the States?
So I was very lucky. Each week I blogged. You can see it on nancypinchov.com. Up at the top, you'll see Venturing to Vietnam. That was my blog each week. So I blogged, and at home, the parents and the kids would read it together. I would send little pictures and videos that I'd made just for my students. I had a post in our school LMS, and so they could watch and see what was happening. And then like my 3rd grade at the time was doing Force in Motion, and they were going to be building a bridge. So we have the Dragon Bridge in Da Nang, which is a dragon. It's shaped like a dragon. And on the weekend nights, it blows fire out of its mouth and water out of its mouth. And it's totally amazing. So I had to go and film the bridge and send them a picture. And then we have the Golden Bridge, which is a hand structure and with the bridge going across it. So I had to take pictures and make a video there and send that back home so they could see the bridges that I'm seeing, because they're going to be making bridges. And then my 5th grade was doing the water. So I would take pictures of any kind of trash or any kind of recycling that they had in Vietnam as well. Anything that was great that I was like, oh, look at what they're doing here. Can you put that into your work? And then my fourth grade, I can't remember what they were doing, but it was something good too. But I would just little snippets back to them.
Yeah.
And then here in the pictures here, I chose Vietnam, and everybody's always, why Vietnam? My dad was in Vietnam. In Vietnam, they call it the American War. We call it the Vietnam War. So 60 years ago, he was in Pleiku, Vietnam. He grew up on a mountain in South Carolina, had not left more than 15 miles off of his mountain, and got drafted and sent to Vietnam. And he was a farm kid. He grew up on a farm. And so he got there and he saw water buffalo. There's a picture of me feeding a water buffalo. He saw them plowing the rice fields or the rice paddies with the water buffalo. And that's what he remembers. My dad has Alzheimer's now. And so my goal had always been to take him back. And so he couldn't go, but we video called all the time. And you'll see a picture of my mom and dad right there too. So we would video call all the time and I would show him everything. And so our last weekend, I went and found the water buffalo and I got to feed it. And my husband actually got to ride it and plow with it in the field and stuff. And that was my connection home. And then my students, I actually got to Zoom with them too. It was 2:00 in the morning for me. It was 2:00 in the afternoon for them, for some of the classes. But I stayed up all night long to Zoom with each class and talk to them because they were so excited. And they said, we miss you. I'm like, I miss you too. And they would send me emails and ask questions and I would email them back and answer questions. And so we just tried to stay connected the whole time and tried to make those connections to what they were learning. And introducing them, I would email them like, Sammy, I found Sammy here in Vietnam. And I found Natalia here in Vietnam. The same attitudes, the same behaviors, the same, got to do this. I got to hurry up. I got to get all this done. I got to get it done. Just amazing. You know, I could see the same similarities in my kids and the kids in Vietnam. And it was just phenomenal. So making those connections and then coming back and showing them the pictures I took, I'm like, look, that's you. That's you. This kid is you. So just having that time, it meant so much to my kids for me to be there and to learn and to step out and do something like this. And I got down to the 2. I don't know how many people applied for Vietnam, but there were 2 of us who got to the interview stage. And I didn't know this at the time or I would have been really scared. But I found out later, we had a Fulbright meeting and they were talking about how they selected. And they said, we were only supposed to have 1, but we loved you both. And so we asked, can we have both? And so now Robert is in Vietnam right now. He's a teacher and he does agriculture. And so he is helping Vietnam to learn about sustainable agriculture. Isn't that just amazing?
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Do you know that also, Nick, I know you have a dying question you want to ask. I just one more little thing of nugget while you were speaking and the connections you made between your Vietnam students and your state students. I love that you were really encouraging, whether you meant to or not, but global citizenship and being able to, you know, fluidly realize that we're all the same and that we're learning in the same ways, using the same resources and the same concepts and just in a different destination. So I loved that. Thank you so much for emphasizing that. As a former world language teacher, I think that is so important. So Nick, passing it back to you.
That truly is important. And I just keeps sitting with me, just this idea around you like connecting in Vietnam and then connecting back home. It continues to sit with me. And like it sort of leads into my next question in that, like, you know, you talked about how you've impacted the students like across the globe, as well as students, you know, in your local areas. What impact do you feel like the program and sort of like all of your experiences, what impact have they had on you in your journey and in your career?
So I'm always willing to try anything, but stepping out to go to a whole foreign country was a little bit much. And I really applied because I thought, okay, I need to get my name out there because I want to do this. I don't know that I want to do it this year, but I want to put my name out there so they start remembering me. And then I was completely shocked that they actually interviewed me and then that they picked me. So I am an adventurer. I love traveling. We've hit 37 of the 50 states. We have 4 more coming up this summer. We went to Alaska last summer. I will go anywhere and do anything, but this was a little much. It was 27 hours on a plane. Coming back, I got on a plane in Vietnam at midnight on the 21st. And 19 hours later, I was in Atlanta at 9 o'clock in the morning. We were flying back against time. So this is a whole new ball field, a whole new thing that I don't know about. So bravery was my biggest thing. And I would make the videos, especially with me feeding the water buffalo. At one point I'm going, hello guys, I'm me. Because so everything I did that was brave, I would make a video and send it to my students at home, because I tell them, you have to be brave. We're going to try this coding thing and it's not going to work and we're going to figure it out. We have to be brave. So there's some pictures of food here. I'm not an adventurous eater. The very first word I learned was ga, because that's chicken. And that's what I will eat. I will eat the chicken. That's fine. So I tried lots of different food. There's some bamboo rice here. It's a purple rice, spring rolls. And my girls building SEAM, actually, we made vegetable spring rolls, the Vietnamese spring rolls. So, trying those new things out. The beach picture is my first week there. The end of my first week, we got a typhoon. It's the same as a hurricane. I'm used to hurricanes here in Florida, but I've never been in a typhoon in Vietnam, but now I have, and it wasn't too bad, but it did wreck the beaches. And so you see some of the damage there. And then, traveling and walking around, I get my car here, and I live in South Florida. I get my car to drive to the store, to go to a restaurant, or go to school. And in Vietnam, I just walk. I couldn't walk to my school. It's a little bit far for that, but I walked to the grocery store. I walked to the restaurants, walked to the beach, and learning to go by myself. I can drive anywhere by myself. I'll go out to eat by myself here in Florida, and that's not a problem. But being in Vietnam by myself, I never felt threatened at all. There was never any crime around where I was. But still being brave enough to go, okay, I need sand. I'm going to walk to the beach. And then my husband comes and gets the sand and brings it back for me. So going places by yourself, being okay with this new language that you don't speak. One of the scariest times was I got in a Grab. That's an Uber in Vietnam. I got in the Grab to go to school. I was out of time on my Verizon unlimited plan. I'd run out of data. And so I couldn't get my phone to work after I got in the car, because I had been connected to the Wi-Fi at my apartment. And the guy was going the wrong way to a different school, because my school has 5 different locations. So he was going to a different one. And I'm like, no. And I can't use Google Translate to talk to him because my data is out. So I finally get him to give me his phone and pull over. And I typed in the name of the school and showed him. And he went, oh. And so he didn't speak English. I don't speak Vietnamese. I was terrified. But I did it. And I was fine. I survived it. Yes, I sweated completely through my clothes that day, but it was okay. So that being brave and taking that step, and it's just like Coach Summy pushing me to go to college, pushing myself to go and try something that I've never done before, that I don't know anybody. I don't know anything, and just try, and able to go back and go to the same place that my dad had walked 60 years ago, where he was stationed in Pleiku, going to Camp Holloway and just standing there going, this is where my dad was. Having that connection with him and being able to show him, he's like, that's not what it looked like. I'm like, no, that's not what it looked like when you were here. But being brave and stepping out and trying things, that's something that I keep pushing on my students, is keep trying to be brave, keep trying everything, because it's not going to work, but you'll learn from your failures just as much as you learn, sometimes even more than you learn from everything else. So yeah, that's what I was doing. And it was phenomenal. So my message to you is, you have an impact in everything you do. And when I present at conferences, teachers will go, oh, I can't do that. I don't do anything that people want to know. Yes. What you do that you think is normal, other people will be shocked and amazed by. So start with a local conference at your school district. Start at a local estate conference. I did my first one 22 years ago at the South Carolina Social Studies Conference, and presented with my friend Barbara, who drugged me over there and made me do it with her. And that kicked off for me an amazing journey of learning and sharing and connecting. Connect with people. Get on Twitter and connect with people all over the world. Get on LinkedIn. I have joined on LinkedIn in the last few months since I've been in Vietnam. I've been able to connect with people all over the world. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, my project is Thoughtful Teacher Tech Tools. So I have a community. I forgot all about that part. I have a community that I've started to build through Flipgrid and with Padlet, where teachers are joining. It's on my website, thoughtfulteachertech.org, on the teacher tools section. There's a Flipgrid community there where you can talk about your tools that you use for graphic design, the tools that you use for coding, the tools that you use for assessment. There's over 150 people from all over the world who have already joined. Not a lot of people want to make their own videos. So I also created a Padlet so you can just drop lesson plans in the Padlet. I would love for more people to join. Friend me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I would love to join together and we can build even bigger partnerships everywhere.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so actually, one thing that I want to wrap up with is you mentioned it. It's your words, but it's reiterated in the chat. And it's you said, what we might think of as ordinary can be really extraordinary to others. And I think that is so impactful. And I love that you videotaped you feeding the water buffalo and, trying new foods and walking alone down the street to the beach. I think that is so exciting and so inspiring. And what you've done is that you've just ignited a movement here, Nancy, because in the chat box, we've got a lot of extraordinary people who are expressing their experiences teaching abroad as well, learning about new cultures and their languages and their teaching methods and being able to bring that back to their classroom and share that with so many other people who just might not have that opportunity. And so I think this was so remarkable. You're remarkable. Everyone in the chat's remarkable.
My mom thinks so.
Little man can
extraordinary. Yes, extraordinary, right? Extraordinary.
Yes.
Man, I just really want to thank you for sharing with us today. And that's just what I'm walking away with from this conversation is we have to make connections and we have to be brave about it. And then, like to not hesitate. And I think that, Nancy's just giving us something super important to think about as we go through our sessions and as we go through the rest of Camp Engage is, how are we making connections with each other? How are we bringing those connections with to our students or to the spaces that we're in? And how are we showing up with braveness? How are we showing up to try things that we, might not have thought about trying before? Trying new things, doing new things and things like that. So I just really appreciate you sharing that with us. Y'all making connections, being brave, right? Making connections, being brave. Type it in the chat if you got it. Making connections, being brave. Matter of fact, find you a neighbor to say it to. That was the wrong neighbor. Find you another neighbor. Absolutely. So thank you so much, Nancy. We appreciate you for sharing all of these. Also, I heard from you said I heard it through the grapevine that you were also a Nearpod pioneer as is listed there. So you so this was a little family reunion here, and we're just really grateful that you came to share with us your stories and how you were able to make an impact and how it has impacted you. So yes, thank you so much.
I love that. And while you were doing your making connections, being brave, Nick, it sparked a quote, and I don't know who said it. So here we are, but I tried to Google it. I wasn't fast enough. Okay. But basically the quote is something along the lines of, it's only after you step out of your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. And so I think ultimately this is exactly what we're trying to push our students to have a growth mindset, to be a global citizen, to step outside their comfort zone. And yes, change is so uncomfortable, but it's the only way to grow, to be better, to transform into what we were meant to be. So I really love that. So thank you so much.
And I heard a quote too that if you're not if you're comfortable with your dreams, you're not dreaming big enough. You need to be uncomfortable. You need to dream so big that it makes you uncomfortable. So believe me, there were many times I was dreaming way too big in Vietnam, but we were walking to the ATM one day and I said to my husband, can you even believe this is our life right now? Step out, try it. If they turn you down one time, okay, try it again, try another one. And once you get involved and once you get in the door of a lot of these organizations, you become part of their family and they give you money to go somewhere else. They give you opportunities to learn more and to connect with more people. You just got to step out there and try. And
Yeah.
it's scary, but you got to do it.
That's a heavy one. It's scary, but you have to do it. Do it scared. Do
I
it
love
scared,
that.
y'all. So I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We're definitely, we're gonna have Nancy's contact information available sort of at the end of the opening ceremony so that you all can make connections with her. Those links are definitely still linked in the chat, as well as we'll make sure that we give you our Twitter sort of at the end of the opening ceremony. So we're gonna move on from here. Thank you again, Nancy, for
Thank you,
sharing with
guys.
us. Yeah, y'all. So moving forward,
Next up,
passing the mic to Marcella. Here we go.
I hope you guys are ready because we're about to be brave and vulnerable together, because I want you, yes, at home, to grab your binoculars, okay? Because I can't even read with these things, so I'm actually going to take my binoculars down. But grab your binoculars because it's time to find. And let me tell you, in the chat, I have been seeing people like trying to help each other out, and they're like, wait, have you seen this character? Have you seen it? Hasn't happened yet. Let me tell you where you can find our 5 hidden time to climb characters from these specific 9 sessions. Okay, we wanted to give you a little head start. It would be a little ridiculous and unattainable for us to just think you're going to find 5 characters and all that's going on this weekend. So we gave you a head start. These are the 9 sessions and maybe a few more that you can find the 5 hidden time to climb characters. So make sure you're looking out for them, because that is a way in which you can absolutely win additional camp prizes, which
you might want to take a screenshot. Oh, it's too late.
Take a screenshot. Why don't you? Okay, I like it.
You got 5 seconds to take your screenshot. 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, so I would just highly encourage that you get that done, because we have some prizes that are associated with that. Wink, wink. You might get you some swag. You might get a little Camp Engage. You don't know what's coming. You don't know what type of prizes that you might have. So yeah, definitely go looking for those Camp Engage characters as you're going through these sessions. So here are the rules. It's simple. Take a screenshot of the session slide where you spotted the time to climb character. Post that image on social media. Make sure you tag Nearpod, tag Flocabulary, tag hashtag Camp Engage, and make sure you're following both of those accounts. Share something that you learned during that session, and the winners will be selected at random during the closing ceremony on Sunday. So make sure that you are on the lookout for these characters. You might find them in you will find them in every last one of those sessions that were listed in the last slide. So make sure you're out there looking. Once again, where you submit it on social media. So that could be Twitter, that could be Instagram, but make sure you're tagging at Nearpod. Make sure you tag at Flocabulary. Make sure you're following those accounts, and make sure you hashtag Camp Engage. This will also, generate a little bit of fun, because you might have a friend that didn't make it to Camp Engage, and you want to encourage them to make it to the next one, because you want some swag. So make sure that you're posting about this, and even beyond just the time to climb characters. If you find something that really resonated with you, that was just good to you, make sure you're posting that quote. Make sure you're posting that moment. Make sure you're posting that screenshot of those moments of Camp Engage that were impactful to you. So make sure, again, at Nearpod, at Flocabulary, hashtag Camp Engage. Make sure we are consistently sharing this out and making other people jealous that did not make it to Camp Engage, because we want them to come back, and we want them to watch the recordings even after Camp Engage is over this time. This is our 15th one. We got I'm going to pass it to Marcella, because she has just a few housekeeping items to go over with you all. So
absolutely. So that poll told us everything. We've got about 52% or more that are brand new campers, and we're so excited that you're here. So I did see in the chat, how do I find my saved classes? And Kathy Ware, you are amazing for helping sister out, so thank you. But what we're going to do here is, what you can see is when you log into, of course, we've already put it right there, nearpod.com/Camp Engage/agenda. You're going to see something very similar to what's on my screen. What you're going to see is a resource tab besides your agenda tab that's going to have all of your wonderfully saved classes or courses or sessions sessions, whatever you want to call them here at Camp Engage. Your resources tab is going to have the recordings from previous camps and where all the self-paced lessons will be put to use when it comes to following along with the recording. So making sure that you have the resources tab for any recordings and previous camp stuff that has gone on, you want to make sure that you go straight to that resource page, and there you will find all of it, the knowledge that we are going to be telling you this weekend. On top of that, we have a frequently asked questions page. If you have a question, go there first. And of course, if it's about PD certificates and support issues, definitely go to our frequently asked questions page. That is where everything will be posted for you, so you know when you're getting your certificates when it comes to PD hours and all that jazz. Lastly, one-on-one, make sure that you're connecting and networking with people. We have people from all over the world. We are global, okay, like we always are. Kudos to us, but we are still global this time. So with that being said, I want to make sure that Nick actually, describes how he used our one-on-one networking to take his kids. I'm not even gonna. You go. I'm not even gonna.
Absolutely, y'all. We just finished talking about making connections and being brave. So there was actually a moment where I was able to connect with someone from Camp Engage who was residing in Mexico. They were teaching the same grade level as I was. I was teaching second grade math, and she was teaching second grade English to her students in Mexico. We made a connection on Camp Engage, and not only did we forge that connection, but we extended that connection to our students. So we actually created pen pals. This is just an idea, but just to let you know that you are connecting with educators around the world that are committed to engaging students. And so knowing that you have access to just an abundance of possibilities to make meaningful experiences happen for your students. Once again, we're talking about making those connections and being brave. So we got to make connections for our students and with each other. And then we have to be brave enough to make those lasting and make them impactful. So let's definitely use that one-on-one networking tab, get people's emails, get their social media, get their LinkedIn, connect with other people. And let's continue the conversation even beyond Camp Engage up until the next Camp Engage.
Absolutely. I love that. And so, of course, lastly, just know that you can search the agenda by experience level, track, or topic. And of course, you can save all of your classes in My Registered Session. So that's how you navigate that page. And of course, you can ask us, and we are more than happy to help you as well as your camping counselors. So with that being said, Nick, back to you about these time to climb things.
Absolutely. Yeah. So once again, we're talking about making sure that we share out on social media. So make sure you are screenshotting, the slides that, the moments. If we can get to the next slide real quick. Make sure you're screenshotting those moments and sharing it out on social media. We have some quotes that some teachers have posted as they've shared from moments of previous Camp Engages. One says, finally, a PD that you want to attend. This week was full of energy, inspiration, and ideas on how to keep our students engaged across the curriculum. And this is from Angela from South Carolina. We got another quote from someone in California. I'm curious if you noticed something on this slide that I have not mentioned yet. I'm going to give you about 5 seconds to figure it out. 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So that was a cheat sheet. So I gave I can't tell you what it was, but that was your cheat sheet. So make sure you're on the lookout on these slides once again for these time to climb characters, and make sure that you're sharing out on social media. And once again, when we talk about sharing out specifically, we do have the Twitter names of Nearpod and Flocabulary listed on the screen. So we have hashtag Camp Engage, hashtag at Nearpod at Flocabulary. This is my Twitter if you want to connect with me on Twitter. This is Miss Pinchev's Twitter. It's Pinchevable. And then we also got the lovely Marcella, and hers is at Learn with Labby. So make sure that you're tagging us, quoting, just dropping those gems for educators to tap into around the world. So we're going to just move on because we don't have that much time left. But we would like to hear from you really quickly. What are you excited about in this weekend? What are you excited about this weekend? We're going to play some music and let you just share out. What are you excited about this weekend with Camp Engage?
As I'm playing tunes, I'm going to turn it up a little bit. I love that this is a bit delayed for us camp counselors. So everyone's finding the character right now, and it's so great. I love seeing it in the chat. It's so funny. As you guys do that, we want to, of course, hear from you in the Collaborate board. And we are playing some Motown to really make sure we're inspiring us. Yes. Oh, we are seeing so many wonderful things in the Collaborate board. What are you most excited to learn? Digital citizenship, more tools and tricks, vocabulary, new features. Absolutely. How to use this in my virtual classroom. Absolutely. In-depth learning. Oh my gosh.
Wow, Marcella, you're playing. I heard it through the grapevine, and our grapevine looks to be on fire right now. We have an on fire grapevine. Look at our grapevine talking about just the amazing things that folks are looking forward to this weekend with Camp Engage. You know, advanced tips and tricks. We got some veterans here that are looking to take it a step further. Wink, wink to some of our folks internally that that plus 1% that some of our veterans are looking to get at advanced features, new features, continuing that journey, more tools and tricks, I'm loving to see the things about vocabulary.
Woohoo! I love it too.
Yes. This is amazing.
We're seeing people in the chat as well talking about learning, how to explore math and science activities in Spanish. This is so great. Jill says, I want to clone myself so I can attend more sessions. Jill, don't worry. Go back to that resource tab, and there's all the recordings of the sessions that you weren't able to watch live and in person. No need to clone yourself, Jill. It's okay. And then on top of that, I really am just loving all of your guys' excitement. Thank you so much for being here, for hanging with us during this opening ceremony. As Nick mentioned, for all of your friends that aren't able to make it, make sure that you guys are sharing out on Twitter. We want to get that swag, of course. And of course, lastly, just like Nancy was a pioneer, you will be hearing from so many other pioneers during your time here this weekend with us at Camp Engage, leading awesome sessions, pick their brains, use it as an opportunity to just absorb. And so, of course, we are super, super excited that you guys are all here, and we're lastly just very, very glad that we were able to invite Nancy here, and we want to give all the kudos to our awesome mayor, Lindsay, who was able to elevate Nancy to us and bring her to Camp Engage. And so thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you so much, Mayor Lindsay. Thank you to all of you guys for being here with us today. Many first timers. We hope you have the best time ever.
Yes, absolutely. And really, really quickly, just don't fret if you're not able to make every single session. They will be available on recording. And also just encourage some of your other friends and your other colleagues to watch those recordings as well. So these will be available. You will not miss anything if you're able to catch these recordings, as Kaylee just mentioned in the chat. So definitely tap into that as well. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for being campers. Thank you to the first time visitors of camp, and then also not visitors. Thank you to our new campers, as well as thank you to our veteran campers. We are excited about this weekend, y'all, and let's start engaging, and let's look at that impact.
Can't wait to go be brave with you all.